Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is your
Not on the list.
Photo News Fix. This Photo News Fix is brought to you by the Froknows Photo text line. That's right, one of the best ways to get in touch with Steven and I is to be on our text line. To sign up, simply text 313-710-9729. You will not be spammed incessantly with offers or other BS. Now, it's a great place to ask some questions and to get them answered, or for me to share an update from time to time. Again, that number is 313-710-9729. First up, let's start off with two Canon stories. One about a massive sensor and the other about a forthcoming rumored lens.
Tell me more.
First up, the sensor. Canon has unveiled a whopping 410 megapixel full frame stacked sensor. Yes, that's massive, probably super expensive, and more than likely will never find its way into consumer cameras unless Canon decides to pull a Sony and comes out with an RX1R Canon edition, you know, for $40,000 or something.
I'll take two.
Now, thanks to how this sensor was designed, it's capable of pumping out a whopping 8 frames per second. Can you imagine what you'd be able to capture with so many pixels?
Christy.
Oh, I know, pick me. Is the answer bird shooters can now sit in their car with a 35mm lens and crop in on that Australian tit wobbler? Or the Andean cock of the rock from miles away? Yeah, I guess maybe they could do that, but I'm sure they'd still find a way to complain that they need more croppability.
Damn kid.
I kid, I'm not making fun of you wildlife shooters. Yeah, no, really, I am. Now remember, this sensor may not be designed for consumers, but some of the tech found in it might find its way into consumer products in the not too distant future. Now, in terms of the rumored lens, Canon rumors is saying to expect an RF85 1.4L VCM lens sometime soon.
When will then be now?
Now, this of course makes sense and lines up with other VCM lenses that are already in existence. There's the 20, the 24, the 35, and 50 1.4. It only makes sense that the 85 will be next. But I'm more curious to see if there will ever be a 105 1.4 or maybe a 135 1.4 at some point in the future, because that would be super interesting. Now, what lens would you like to see get the 1.4 treatment? Let me know down below. Next up, the US has signed a trade deal with Japan to move the tariff rate to 15% from the proposed 25% that was supposed to take effect soon, and higher than the 10% that was already imposed. Now, if this sounds confusing, that's because it is. 1 minute it's one thing, the next it's something else, before ending in a discussion about Epstein Island.
What? Too soon?
No. Anyway, Trump had this to say. We just completed a massive deal with Japan, perhaps the largest deal ever made. Japan will invest, at my direction, $500 billion in the United States, which will receive 90% of the profits.
What does it all mean?
I have no idea what that last part actually means, and I don't think he does either. So what's this mean for the photo industry? Does it mean companies are going to raise prices higher on Japanese imports, even though they just raised them due to the 10% tariff?
I don't know.
Tell me again how this isn't an added tax on American consumers, because if my math is correct, when a tariff is added onto something and the price goes up, you end up paying that higher price straight out of your pocket, not someone else's pocket. And no, you don't get that money back at any point in any time. You paid more money, which cost you more money, which is in essence a tax on you. But not you Canadians, because you're not United States citizens.
The people of Canada will not be devalued like this.
No, wait, that's a good thing, Canada.
You, buddy.
Regardless, I have no idea if this is a
Win, lose, or draw.
But at the end of the day, expect prices to go up again on Japanese imports. Real quick, after doing some research into this deal that Trump says he made, you will find that there is no actual signed document that says that Japan will make a $500 billion investment. So they're not obligated to do so, and we've seen this in the past with other deals that Trump has made, especially with China giving $200 billion. They never actually followed up and followed through with doing that because they're not contractually obligated. So it is not signed, sealed, and delivered, and this seems to be more of a victory for Japan than it is for the US consumer. And finally, last week Canon released new firmware for a bunch of cameras before pulling the firmware due to an issue. All right, so I gotta jump in here real quick because after filming and recording Photo News Fix, Canon went ahead and put the firmware back up. I still recommend waiting at least 2 weeks until we make sure that it's perfectly good before you download it, but it is now available. Now, before getting into this story, this is why I caution anyone on updating any firmware as soon as it's released. Now, this is for every manufacturer of cameras as well as other electronics that need firmware updates. The best thing to do is to wait at least
2 weeks
to see if cameras are being bricked before updating your firmware. Now, last week there wasn't a lot of clarity on the new security feature that was added, but this week, thanks to a video by the one and only Rudy Winston, we now have more clarity.
You want the customary clarity or the new and improved kind of clarity?
Because Rudy gives a lot of clarity. He's kind of the best.
New and improved clarity.
Rudy repeats numerous times,
This is not a theft deterrent feature. This is not intended to prevent theft of your camera.
and is designed to comply with the EU's radio equipment directive. It's meant to limit unauthorized access to anything the camera is connected to from your phone or network. Now, here's how it works. After installing the new firmware, once it's re-uploaded and fixed of all the bugs, when you turn the camera on, you will be asked to create a 6-digit PIN number that will be used to unlock the camera when it turns on or awakes from sleep. But there's a kicker. There's a checkbox under it that says, "Do not ask again." Now, if you click that, the password will no longer be required. So yeah, this isn't an anti-theft feature. It's a workaround for the EU regulations. But my question is this: would it be that hard to repurpose this for theft prevention? And then you'd make Tony Northrup very, very happy.
Tony.
And there you have it. That's your Photo News Fix this time around. Thank you very much for watching. Jared Polin, PhonosPhoto.com. See ya.